Everyone knows at this point that AI is one huge bubble. The only question that most people can answer is why the bubble is not bursting. It's really weird. Just imagine for a moment that all these companies, especially multi-trillion-dollar companies, spending hundreds of billions of dollars annually, and they understand that it's a bubble. Why wouldn't they stop investing in AI? Why wouldn't they simply make their money back? Don't they understand that they will be the biggest losers if the AI bubble is going to burst? And the larger the bubble is going to get, the more money they are going to lose. So here in this video, I want to explain to you why the big tech doesn't actually cares about the AI bubble and why the AI bubble most likely is not going to burst even if the entire world knows that it's a bubble, because no one will stop investing in AI. And I know that this sounds like an exaggeration because when you look at this kind of S&P 500 and you see that since AI bubble started, the S&P 500 is up by 111%. Most people have this very simple question: will this rally ever stop? The only reason that this rally stopped for a few times is because Donald Trump has purposely crushed the market. Back when he started the war with Iran back in March, and last year when he started the biggest trade war since 1945 with the second largest economy. But here's the problem. The question is, how do we even know that AI is a bubble? Now everybody talks about that it's a bubble. Like, how do we know for a fact it's a bubble? What if we don't know something? What if the big tech knows something that the rest of us don't? Now here's what a bubble is. A bubble is when we invest so much money in any kind of an investment and that investment never pays off. So let's take an example that we're building a factory and the cost of the factory is $10 million, which is a lot of money. Now, here's the question. How do we know if this factory is a bubble? If this factory turns out to be a profitable business, that if we put $10 million and it makes $20 million, it's not a bubble. Even if we put $1 billion, $1 trillion. If the factory will earn $2 trillion, it's not a bubble. It's a good investment. You put money in and you make more money out. The second scenario is that if the factory is going to break even. So if we put $10 million and we made $10 million. Yes, it's a waste of time, but it's certainly not a bubble because we just made our money back. The moment that this factory is not going to generate at least the investment that we have made and we keep pouring money here, that's when we call it a bubble. So let's take a look at what exactly is happening with AI. So in 2024, the largest tech companies have spent $251 billion on building computer chips and data centers, basically improving AI. 2025, they almost doubled their investments to $416 billion, and this year we're expected to invest about $700 billion, and next year that number will accelerate to over $1 trillion, and God knows what's going to happen next. Here's the question: are we making these investments back? Well, this year, we're expected to generate from AI from companies such as OpenAI and Anthropic. They will in total generate about $100 billion. So we are putting $700 billion and generating that $100 billion. So at first, it seems like a bubble. But if you have ever started any kind of business, you know for a fact that just because you're putting this upfront cost in the beginning doesn't mean that you will break even in the first year. You could be investing $10 million today and it will take you 3-4 years to break even, and then you're going to make the profits. So it's very normal for these businesses to spend so much money building the data centers. But there's just one problem with this kind of investments when it comes to AI. The companies that actually spent so much money buying computer chips from NVIDIA last year, now NVIDIA is finally delivering these computer chips, and the company that is receiving them realizing that, well, a generation has passed. Now there are new computer chips in the market which are much faster, they consume less energy, and they're basically having much more computational power. So if you have two companies, one company is using a computer chip that consumes less energy and more powerful. The second company is using a computer chip that consumes more energy and has less power. Who do you think is going to win the AI race? So all these hundreds of billions of dollars that were spent last year or the year prior to that, those computer chips are now useless. You need to get the latest computer chips. And that's the problem with these investments that we have right now. Yes, we are buying the most advanced computer chips, but the industry is growing so fast that these computer chips are actually becoming obsolete. And that's why if you put over $1 trillion in these data centers, only to realize a year later or 2 years later now that you will never make back the investments on those computer chips, that's what we call a bubble. Well, if that's a bubble, here's the question. Who is putting all that money up front? The largest tech companies. Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Don't they understand that they will never make that money back? Well, the obvious question is that, yes, they do understand that, but there is just one simple problem. Each of these companies are in something that we call prisoner's dilemma. In game theory, there is this very simple understanding that if we come together and we work together, we will spend a lot less resources and we will get to the final outcome much faster. But if each of us will start doing on its own the thing, then we will spend far more resources. And that's basically what the prisoner's dilemma is. And every single large tech company right now is trapped in that prisoner's dilemma. Let me give you a very simple example. So if one of the tech companies will stop buying the computer chips to train their AI, the other one will win the AI. Let's take an example between Google and Microsoft. Google is controlling the search engine in the world. Microsoft also has a search engine, but nobody actually uses that search engine. It's actually called Bing, just in case if you didn't know that Microsoft once upon a time had a search engine, and that search engine probably exists even up until now. Here's the thing. If Google right now, or if Google will realize that why do we spend so much money on computer chips? And Microsoft will be buying all the latest computer chips from NVIDIA. They will train their AI, and now Bing will be using AI and will become a far better search engine than Google. And suddenly Google is going to lose its entire business model to Microsoft because Microsoft has the latest AI. So in order to prevent that from happening, what do you think Google is going to do? Google is going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars buying the computer chips, even if they are not by far the investments that will pay back in the foreseeable future, because they don't want to give up their business to Microsoft. Now, let's compare Google to a company such as Meta. Both of these companies are very different companies. Google is a search engine. Of course, they have a variety of other products, but at the core of it, what Meta is selling is the exact same thing as Google. Google primarily makes their money from ads. They're selling ads to businesses. Meta is also selling ads, though that they sell that in social media, in Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. Now, here's the problem is that if Google is going to spend so much money building the computer chips, and now Google can offer to businesses much better ad experience, much more targeted ad experience than Meta, then advertisers will be spending more money on Google ads instead of Meta ads. And suddenly Google is making far more money than Meta. So in order to prevent that from happening, Meta also has to spend billions of dollars buying computer chips. So if you look at the largest tech companies, all of them are trapped in something that we call the prisoner's dilemma. They don't have such option as if just leave the computer chips on the table. So all of these top 5, top 6, or top 7 companies that are driving primarily the entire stock market, they just have no other option but to spend that money to buy the latest computer chips. And all of them are buying the computer chips from a company that is called NVIDIA, because it is by far the only company that builds the latest computer chips. So NVIDIA is worth like $5 trillion. But NVIDIA isn't actually building them. They're simply designing them. The company that is building them is called TSMC and similar companies. So NVIDIA is paying TSMC hundreds of billions of dollars, and then TSMC has a long supply chain that pays them. That's why we have this huge AI bubble. Now here's the question. Why would they do that? Isn't these investments crippling these companies? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, that's not the case. These are tech businesses. Over the last 20 years, they have taken over the entire economy. And unlike traditional businesses like Ford, for every car that Ford is selling, there is a fixed cost for that car. And you can't just bypass that fixed cost. You can't be selling Ford cars without doors or without an engine or without the wheels, right? But when you are a tech company and you're selling software, you don't have an extra cost for every extra product you're selling. For every million users that start using Google, it doesn't cost much Google. It doesn't cost much Meta. It doesn't cost much many other businesses that are selling actually software businesses. So they have accumulated so much cash. They have profit margins that are 20, 30, or even sometimes 50%. And they have a lot of free cash flow. Now, what is free cash flow? Free cash flow is after paying off your operating expenses and you're deducting your also CapEx. CapEx is the investments that you're actually making into a new business, into a new infrastructure. So that is the money that is left for investors. This money could be, for example, used into buying back the stocks, or that money could be actually used in paying off the dividends. And these businesses traditionally have really huge free cash flow. So they have a lot of cash in hands that they can do whatever they want. That's why they're so insanely valuable. Let's look at Google. Google's free cash flow margin back in 2021 was 26%. And historically, it has been more than 20%. So they have a lot of cash on their hands. And since now they are trapped in this prisoner's dilemma, they have no other choice but to invest a big chunk of that money, probably dozens of billions of dollars, if not $100 billion, on building these data centers and buying the computer chips. And if you look at the free cash flow over the last 12 months, you see that it has dropped to 15%. And why did the drop happen? Because they're investing and buying computer chips. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft's free cash flow historically has been at around 30%, which is by far one of the highest free cash flows in the entire market. Over the last 12 months, it has dropped to 22%. Even last year, it was 25%. This drop was that because they used a lot of their cash again to buy the computer chips and invest in AI. Now, if we look at Meta, we see the exact same thing is happening over here. So essentially, what is happening is these companies that build the most profitable businesses in history have accumulated so much cash, and now the opportunity struck. And now they have no other choice but to keep investing that money. Even if these investments will turn out to be really bad investments, just let's say for the sake of example, it's not going to drive any of these businesses out of business. They will still have a lot of money. They will still be extremely profitable. And if AI is going to make them, let's say, much more profitable, then this is an investment that actually worth taking. Because if AI is going to make targeted ads much more better, much more efficient, then in the long run, both Meta, Google, and Microsoft, they know that it's an investment that is worth making. Now, on the other side, because these companies are so huge, because they have so much money, there is another thing that they're doing, and that's what we call stock buybacks. A stock buyback is when a company takes the money that it's generating, and instead of paying off that money in form of dividend to investors, they take that money, they go to the stock market, and they buy their own stocks. So essentially, these companies are creating artificial demand for their stocks. So if you have the company itself buying, let's say, $100 billion worth of its stock in the stock market, what do you think is happening to the stock? The stock is rising because at the end of the day, the price of the stock in the market is determined by a very simple factor: demand and supply. So when there is so much demand created by the company itself, that reduces the number of outstanding shares in the market, which boosts the stock price. And let's look at the stock buybacks over the last couple of years. Look at Apple. Apple is by far known as the king of stock buybacks. That's why investors actually really love Apple. Because Tim Cook understood this basic theory, so he started using companies' money that the company generated by selling so many iPhones, to buy back the stock. In 2020, it spent $72 billion. 2021, $86 billion, $90 billion. In 2024, they have spent $100 billion buying back their own stock. And that's why you see Apple stock rising so fast. Last year, that was $91 billion. And the trajectory is very clear that in 2026, they have already authorized that Apple will spend over $100 billion on stock buybacks. And next year, the following year, that will be over $100 billion, and so on and so forth. And now this is not just unique to Apple. This is not something that just Apple has figured out. This is happening across the largest tech companies that are driving AI today. Look at Alphabet. You see the same thing. Alphabet in 2025 has spent $56 billion on stock buybacks. They have reduced that this year because they're spending much more money on AI, but over the next few years, they will keep investing in stock buybacks as well. Now, Microsoft, of course, now lately they have reduced their stock buybacks to $18 billion because they're spending so much money on AI, but nonetheless, they are creating this artificial demand for their own stocks. Now, the same thing is happening with Meta and Nvidia. So on one side, you have a bunch of companies that accumulated so much cash, that are insanely profitable. So they're investing in this AI, knowing that this AI anyways will make them much more profitable in the future because they're the biggest beneficiaries on AI. On the other side, they're spending a lot of their money buying back their stocks, which is pushing their stock prices. So even if there is a chunk of investors in the market realizing that this is a bubble, and they start selling their stocks, that sell-off of the stocks isn't actually going to lead to a huge stock price drop. Why? Because on the other side, the company itself is going to create that artificial demand for their stocks. And that's completely legal. And that's what pushing these stock prices to continue rising. Which is why if you look at Alphabet over the last 3 years, when this AI bubble has started, the stock has tripled in value. So if you put like 10K, just imagine for a moment how much money you have made. Imagine if you kept consistently investing in a company such as Google, which is one of the biggest winners of AI. Look at a company such as Apple. Now, over the last 12 months alone, Apple has grown by 56%. So you know for a fact where the best investments are made right now. That's why if you're not investing in the stock market, you're actually missing a lot. Yes, AI could be a bubble and there could be a temporary drop in the prices of the stocks, but it doesn't mean that the stock market entirely is going to collapse. Because this investment, unlike the dot-com bubble, isn't being made by little small companies or by private small investors. No, these investments right now are being made by the largest companies who have more money than they know what to do with that money. And now they found a use for that investments. So if you're not in the stock market, if you're not investing in the right stocks, you're missing a lot because this is where the real money is being made. But I understand that you don't know which stocks you have to buy, how to analyze stocks, how do you know if now is a good investment, how do you know when you should be selling that stock? Well, to answer all of these questions, you can jump on 101 strategy session with my team and find out what is the best investing strategy for you and what are the best stocks you should be buying right now. And the first 50 people who will use the link in the description of this video will get that strategy session completely for free. The link is in the description of this video.